Hello, good afternoon and welcome to this tutorial on the use of Glioblastoma Navigator for specialists. First of all, let me tell you that the system is organized that all the functions and functionalities available for patients and caregiver is also available for the specialist. So at the moment, I will describe only very shortly the system and only the function specific to the specialist. So I remind you to the other tutorial already published for the caregiver and patients for all the functionalities connected to caregiver and patient. So all the additional, the basic functionalities, I would say. So the system presents in this way. You have a video, you have a language selector, a video. At the moment, only English and Italian are available. There is a video which describes the concept of supermind and describes how the system, what the system is doing for patients and caregivers, and then describes the functionality for doctors and researchers, which is for you. For doctor and researcher, in particular, Glioblastoma Navigator will be a system for collecting data, an order of magnitude higher than in scale than those available in a single hospital or center. Is a way of providing opinions on specific cases, and is also a way to recruiting patients with suitable characteristics for your specific clinical trials, which can be in preparation or in progress. And namely, the system is a sort of virtual trial that allow the application of machine learning algorithms. This, of course, if we will collect enough data. And the final objective is to discover any correlation that may prove useful and improve the standard of care in the future. For any request, please support or functionality to add or anything, please write an email to info@glioblastomamultiforme.it, and we will provide the functionality, requested functionality, as soon as possible. Okay, here you have a couple of buttons to register as caregiver and patient and as a specialist. This is, you have to click on the green on the green one. So register as specialist. And by the way, below at the bottom of the page, you have the privacy policy, terms and conditions, references, and here is the cookie preference selector. So register as a specialist. You go here, you write your email, the hospital, and your affiliation, and you have to approve I mean, say yes to I have read, understood, and accept the terms of condition and privacy policy, and your last name and first name, and then you select create new account. The system will send you an email. You have the possibility to add your password. The system sends you an email to check the correctness of the email. You add the password, and then you can log in. Glioblastoma.it volunteers will check the account because we have to be sure that you are really a specialist, and more or less that's all. So suppose that you have an account. So let me log in. Then I log in as a specialist. So it's Roberto. Again, I have to say I have read terms and condition approved, terms of condition and privacy policy. I say yes, and I log in. Okay. When I log in, I have a list of possible patients, so I can register a new patient. So if you add a new patient profile, then you will have the possibility to add all the information for your specific patient. And for all this functionality, I remind you to the video that has already been published with the functionality for patient and caregivers. And then you see here you have the menu. The Glioblastoma Navigator brings you back to the home page. Then you have the language selector. At the moment we have English. You have My Patient, which is a list of your patient. All patients. Okay, at the moment I see the system presents you this list with patient. The moment only Italian patient have a register, but I hope more and more people from also abroad will register, because the more data we have, the better it is. This is always in statistics. For each patient, you can, for example, select this one. You have some general information. The list of requests for advice, the list of support requests, and then you have the diagnosis, the scans, surgical procedures, and radiotherapy procedure, treatment, the different treatment, like STU protocol, specific trials, and so on. And at the end, the various status of the data. The story can be quite long, and this the information, the better the quality it is, and the better it's for statistics and for the virtual trial. But I mean, here you have a sort of history of patient, what happened to the patient during this disease and this specific path. Then you can have, if you go here, so My Patient, All Patient, I will be back on support request, but first of all, you have the list of centers. At the moment, only this center have been registered, but you have the possibility to add your center. Okay, so you have to add the center name, the location. You can zoom out and select the specific location, can be anywhere. Okay, just click here where you have a draw, the possibility to draw a marker, and then you go, for example, in the United States, St. Paul, and you have the possibility to add the marker. Okay, click in the place to add the marker. And then, of course, you can also add the address, the name of the company, the street. Some of the fields are optional, but the system will always tell you if the field is optional. By the way, the address is in this case something which is quite important. You can add your specialization and more than one specialization of the center, and also notes to describe the center characteristics. And then you can save. You can also preview before saving, and then you can save. And automatically the center will be listed in the list of all centers. Okay. If you select clinical trials, you have the list of all clinical trials as reported in the clinicaltrials.gov database. At the moment, we have added, and we will add only clinical trials available in Italy also, because, you know, glioblastoma.it is located in Italy. But we suggest you to add any clinical trial, the one inserted in clinicaltrials.gov, but also trials which are not yet registered, or that will be never registered, as happens sometimes with local trials. Okay. For the trials, you can, of course, select in terms of required Karnofsky score, required mutation, and when you select any clinical trial, you have detailed information like this one, and that's more or less all. If you want to add, as I hope, a clinical trial, you select clinical trials. I switched, by the way, in Italian because the trial was inserted in Italian, so let me go back to English. So you see that when I have added, I click on clinical trials, below I have the possibility to add the trial. For the trial, we have the name of the trial, the code. This code is the code registered in clinicaltrials.gov. The tumor type, you can select any, even more than one. You can select a phase 1, 2, 3, 4. The type of diagnosis is required is new diagnosis or recurrence or both. The date, starting date of the trial, description of the trial, the required Karnofsky score, the required mutation, the center. If the center is not listed, you have to add with the center's menu, the contact person, and more notes. Then you can, as always, preview or save. I don't save here at the moment. Anyhow, is quite easy. And automatically the trial will be registered and available in the general list. Like in the center, you can see the trials. And by the way, for each center, you have the list of, look at here, you have information about the center, and you have also the list of trials which are currently active in the specific center. Again, if the information is inserted in Italian, the system automatically switch the language, but you can go back to using the language selector. Okay, that's more or less all. As I told, yes, I forgot the support requests. These are requests coming from the patient, so you can browse the requests and in case add a specific request like and reply. For example, this is in Italian and says it's better to have radiotherapy or proton therapy, and then you have the list of all the replies, but you can summarize your reply with the title and then write your comment. Okay, then you save, or you can have also the preview. You can save, and that's again, because it has been inserted in Italian, the system switched to Italian, but you can go back in English, and then you have the fields, the name of the fields in English with save and preview. Okay, guys, that's more or less all. I hope you will enjoy this. You have enjoyed this presentation, and that you will register and be part of this big family of Glioblastoma Navigator Supermind. Thank you very much. And by the way, this is the user menu. You can use my account to change your password and your information, or then you can simply log in out. You go back to the home page. Thank you again, and I hope to see you soon.